Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm the Ultimate Fan yet again, and today we're back with the tier list series, maybe? I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but we're gonna be, if you guys have seen, I ranked Season 1 a few days ago, so I highly recommend check out that video first. But today I'm gonna be ranking Season 2, so yeah, we're starting out, you already know the tiers, you know. We got favorites, great, okay, don't care for, and bad. Of course, this tier list, I found it on the internet. It was made by somebody else, I don't know who made it. Anyways, let's get into the series. Thomas, Percy, and Nicole, honestly, this episode, it's a good start to Season 2. It kind of shows us what's going to happen this season. We get to see Thomas and Percy's kind of friend rivalry in a way. Yeah, I think this is the season when they started to pair Thomas and Percy up like a duo because, you know, nowadays they're just like the duo in the series now. Honestly, this episode is nothing special. I don't know, it's just kind of bland, but for a season start, it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. So, I'll put it in okay. It's an okay start to the season. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna put it. This basically starts like the whole Edward thing, you know, the whole Edward thing in this season. So this is the season that Edward has the most spotlight episodes. I think this episode is okay, again. It's basically just Gordon and Henry just being scared of a cow. I know there's the whole thing with Edward at the beginning, but, yeah, this episode just, I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's okay. It's not one of my favorites episodes, but I'll put it in okay too. It's a fine episode. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not the best, but we're gonna get better. And honestly, I think this season is a bit better than Season 1, but not by much. Of course, Season 2 is not my favorite season of Thomas and Friends. That will have to be to some of the later ones, but hey, it's good enough. Birdie's chase, oh man. This goes in great, to be honest. Because I really do like this one. It's a very fun story of Birdie trying to chase Edward. It's a fun story. It's not the best this season. I've heard many people in the fans of this episode is mediocre. But I think it's pretty good. I mean, Birdie got a lot of love, which I'm happy to see. Say, honestly, I'm gonna be very controversial with this. I'm gonna put it in do not care for. I know you guys are gonna put your pitchforks at me. Please stop. I know this episode is good because it teaches us of the concept of scrap, and Trevor's an interesting character. But honestly, not that much happens in this episode. Yes, it introduces us to the idea of scrap and that, you know, the engines can die. So, yeah, so we get the impression that death does exist in the Thomas universe. But as an episode itself, yeah, it's nothing major. Nothing really much happens in it. Yeah, it introduces us really good to the type of scrap, but other than that, not really. Old Iron, oh boy, this episode, you know, it goes in my favorite. This is one of my favorite Season 2 episodes. Honestly, first of all, it has James, which, when you get James in the classic era, you definitely get James. Because this is like his only spotlight episode this season, and it is shared with Edwards. And yes, you guys know Edward got a lot of love this season. Compared to all the rest of the other seasons where Edward's just kind of there, but seriously, Edward had a huge focus in Season 2, which I'm happy since he really didn't do much in Season 1. Anyways, yeah, this episode is really good. The runaway sequence is very intense. I told you the runaway theme is amazing, probably the best Thomas tracks ever. And honestly, this episode is really nice. I really like this episode. It's really good. Thomas and Trevor, I'll put this one in I don't care for, because this episode is just like, yeah, it's there. It's kind of here just to give Thomas some more spotlight. I know Thomas was more of a supporting character in season 2. He didn't really do much. And I can understand why, because, a season without much Thomas wouldn't really click with people. But, yeah, it's just kind of there. Trevor is okay in this episode, I do like this episode. Even though, let me tell you, if I put these episodes low, that doesn't mean I consider them bad. There are no bad episodes in these early seasons. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just that some of them are weaker than others. So I'm not saying they're bad. Okay? So yeah, this episode goes in this tier because I think it's perfect, and plus not that much happens, so yeah. It's one I really care for. Percy and the Signal, honestly, this one just goes in okay. Honestly, out of all the other episodes that I talked about in the okay and don't care for tier, this one's one of the better ones. Simply because I think it has a more unique concept, and of course it has Percy, and Percy was super loved by the show writers, because seriously, they gave him so much spotlight in this season and even the later season that we're gonna get into. And man, there's a lot of Percy. Honestly, this episode is okay. Yes, it doesn't happen that much, but I do find the ideas of backing signals kind of funny. So, yeah, this episode goes higher because I just like it more. Duck Takes Charge. This is the episode that introduces, a fan favorite Duck. So I'm gonna have to put it in. I'll put it in great, to be honest. Not higher than, Birdie Chase. Yeah, I do think this episode is really good. It introduces us to Duck, which kind of becomes a mainstay in the series. Not really, because, after season 5, it was just done for. But, yeah, I really do like Duck here. He's the first proper new character introduced, and, yeah, he's nice. I really like Duck. So, yeah, he goes in the great pile. Percy and Harold, you all know what I think of this episode. It's absolute top tier. The race is exhilarating. Everything about this episode is peak. You all know why this episode is one of the greatest of the whole season. And let me tell you, season 2 does have some really banger episodes, but most of the time it just has some kind of boring episodes, but that's not really a fault of the season. Since, since this season is entirely written on Audrey material. So, yeah, I'm not blaming Wilbur Audrey. He was an amazing person. He brought this series to life. But, yeah, and as a Thomas fan, I do have to criticize that some episodes are better than others. And I do not hate any episodes this season. I just find some weaker. But this one is one of the greatest of season 2. The Runaway, honestly, one I don't really care for, to be honest. It's kind of a nothing episode. Thomas, loses his brakes. He becomes a runaway train. And then Harold comes and stops him. Not that much happens in this episode. It's cool. Again, the runaway theme is amazing. And the build-up to the chase is really good since it's a runaway train. It's going to be dangerous. But other than that, I don't know what to say about this episode. It's kind of overwhelming. The chase really doesn't add anything else to the table. And yeah, that's kind of it, to be honest. Percy takes the plunge. Oh boy, we are getting into the good stuff. Great episode. Love it. One of my favorites. This is one of my favorites the whole season because, one, I did a remake of it back in 2023, which is shit, so don't watch it. I'll not even link it in the description because it's that bad. But I love this episode. It's just really good seeing Percy get his comeuppance for something really stupid. Yes, the only thing I could criticize this episode for is the retconning with Percy's promise. Because, Percy's promise didn't happen until the next season, which we'll talk about later. I get it. I know that Percy's promise was planned for season 2, but it was not made. And then it was made in season 3, so yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, they could have gone around that retcon a bit, but since I think they were already planning to adapt Percy's promise for this season, then I guess it won't be a big deal. So yeah, this episode is really good. Still love it though. One of my favorites, and when I was a Kid as well. Yeah, really good episode. Up goes the Diesel. Honestly, I'll put it in grade. Honestly, I think this episode is a bit too overrated. I mean, I know we get introduced to the first Diesel, which is Diesel, who is a prick in this episode, and says that modernization is key to keep a railway running, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But this episode doesn't do anything. It's kind of boring, at the beginning. I know, the part when Diesel just freaking kills the trucks, let's say, is really nice. I really like that scene. It's really nice. And it does build up really well into the Diesel three-parter, but other than that, this episode is still good. But not great, but not like the top of the best. I won't call it the best episode of the show. No. Dirty Work, honestly okay. The reason I don't put it in this pile is because the big engines going crazy on Duck is kind of funny. But other than that, this episode is another middle of the road. Now, get it, if these episodes are down here, that doesn't mean the season is bad. Like, they're way better than, like, most of the Blubba episodes, or even All Engines Go episodes, which I didn't watch All Engines Go because it's shit. But I'm saying that, you know, they're weaker episodes this season, and yeah, I mean, look at the tier list so far, I know it isn't good. Not a single bad episode, though. That's interesting. But, yeah, this is an okay episode. I don't have much to say about it, so, yeah, let's just move on. A close shave. You know what I'm gonna think of this episode. One of the best this season. I have to say this is the best episode of Season 2. And without a shadow of a doubt, it is. Now, the only problem I can say about this episode is that you need to know, like, the rest of the Diesel saga so you can understand this one. I guess that's the only nitpick, but other than that, I'm not gonna even mention that because the fandom has talked about it to death, why this episode is great, so yeah. Better late than never. I'll put it in okay. Probably one of the best of the okay ones. This episode is just way too underrated in my eyes. The viaduct scene is amazing. It makes this episode get even the okay tier. The rest of the episode is kind of shallow. It's just that Thomas is kind of a prick to the others, and then Birdie breaks down, and then, you know, he's late. Not that much happens in this episode. And many people are confused about the reason they put the episode is that what moral is meant to teach, and that they couldn't even find what the moral is that of this episode is. But that isn't the magic of Classic Thomas. Isn't that the magic of Classic Thomas, that the morals aren't said out loud? That's the entire thing, like, the Hit era, the Miller era, Blubba even, did wrong, that all of us hate. And that's what kids shows do, that are made for toddlers, but Thomas was different for them. Many people praise Thomas that it didn't spot out the morals in front of their audience and make them obvious. Those are the types of episodes that show this. Okay, Break Fan, I think this one was called. Oh yeah, this one, it's great. Not much I can really say about it. Yeah, I know I could put it in top tier, but honestly, this episode basically just introduces us to Donald and Douglas, and that's kind of it, so, yeah, really good episode. Yeah, it kind of just an introduction to Donald and Douglas, and the crash at the end is pretty cool, too, so, yeah. The Deputation, the second part of, you know, Donald and Douglas's three-parter, where am I gonna put this one, honestly, I'll put it in grade as well. This episode is really good because it's really nice. I really like this episode. I think it's probably one of the best episodes of Classic Thomas. I know from a game perspective, I put it low because, yeah, the entire Deputation thing is really good because like I don't even think there's another kid show that I've seen that had the word deputation in it. And the moral is a very nice one. So yeah, really nice episode. Thomas Comes to Breakfast, really good episode. I think I'll put it here. Yeah, it's a really nice episode. Thomas crashing to a station master's house. I know many people find it boring, but I actually really like this episode. Really good episode. Really like it. Not much to say about it. Daisy, I'll put this one in. I'll put this one in the okay tier. Daisy's an interesting character. And I wish he appeared more after this season because she really doesn't appear that much. The only thing we've really seen her in the show past season 2 was like season 4 and Calling All Engines, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she didn't appear much in the model series. She was more expanded in the CGI series though. Yeah, I really like this episode. Daisy is an interesting character, and yeah, I really like this Diesel Railcar character. She's kind of the in-between all the three Diesels, which were introduced this season. So yeah, Percy's Predicament, it's a really good great episode. The crash is amazing. The entire build-up is nice. It builds up more of Daisy's character and, finishes her arc. Yeah, really nice episode. Really like this one. So, yeah. The Diesel, well, I'll put this one in okay, I guess. I mean, this episode is mostly just introducing us to Bill, Ben, and Boko. Bill and Ben are very introduced. Boko is a nice character. I just wish he was used more. Like, seriously, they just dunked him after Thomas and Magicrero, which was sad. And already Usual Bloke Luke has made a video about Boko, so yeah, I recommend you watch that. Yeah, I really like this episode. I like the trick that Bill and Ben do on Boko. And Edward here is, typical Edward, so yeah. Long Road, honestly biased, this has to be one of my favorite episodes of season 2. Yeah, this is my favorite. First of all, the nighttime shots look really good. What else? I like the entire that Gordon gets his comeuppance again. And also I like Bill and Ben in this episode as well. The same with Boko too. Yeah, I really like the build up to this episode and really like it. So, yeah, that's a really good episode. Edward's exploit, oh man. You know what, I kind of regret everything about Wrong Road now, but honestly, I have to put it in great. It's not my favorite episode of the season, to be honest. It's not my favorite, There's difference between best and favorite. However, I really do like this episode. I mean, it ends off Edward's arc perfectly. This was the last time Edward proved that he's not a worthless old engine. Because after that, for the rest of the golden era of the show, until season 6 that is, Edward is treated with respect by the bigger engines, which show that Edward has concluded his arc in the series by this point. And yeah, really nice episode, really love this one. One of the best Thomas episodes of all time, go and watch it. It's one of the best episodes of the whole show. It's not my favorite, but it's a really good episode that you should definitely give a watch. Ghost Train, my goodness gracious, another great episode. It's not my favorite of the season, but I do like this one a lot. This was the first spooky episode of the series, and I love it for that. I mean, let me tell you, that intro still gives me goosebumps to this day. Oh my god. Yeah. So, yeah, really, really good episode. Another one of the best. It's one of the most, it's just like the Flying Kipper of this season. Really good. Woolly Bear, honestly put it in okay. Yeah, it goes there. It's just things happening on Thomas's branch line, part 666. Yeah, Percy gets a bar of treacle on his head. And then he gets covered in hay. Thomas laughs at him. Yeah, not that much happens. However, it does have the beginning of Thomas and Percy arguing, which, yeah, it was really nice. So, yeah, really nice episode. Really like this one. Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree. Finally, a Christmas episode that is not mediocre. Really good episode, this one. Honestly, it might be better than That Takes Charge. Really nice episode. It concludes the season perfectly. And compared to Thomas's Christmas party from last year, which was kind of a mess, this episode is actually a really good send off to the season. It is not like very forced and feels like a continuation like Thomas's Christmas party was last season. But I really like this one because it's just really good. And yeah, that's basically my entire tier list for season 2 of Thomas the Tank Engine. So I'm gonna pan down so you guys can see the entire tier list now. And that's gonna be from me. I was the Ultimate Fan, and see you guys later. Goodbye.